So I understand, like, first and foremost, what it's like to endure covert narcissistic abuse, and even like the physical and the spiritual warfare attacks that are like fighting ghosts. The way I can explain that is it's kind of like fighting demons that you don't know are there. You don't know where they're at, where they're hiding, what they look like. They're criminals, basically, running in the flesh. And the Bible offers immense comfort and guidance towards these things. And so that I'm in this spiritual battlefield, and I'm like in this kind of brigade made sprayed up into my whole entire reality, and well versed in it, I might add, because I guess I knew a lot more than I could hold on to, if that makes sense. And the way I can explain that is like the things that have taken over my life in that way through attacks that were to poison me. I think even to leave me for dead in places that I didn't anticipate or ever think that it could have been coming from the source that it came from. And so when I question those things, and I question them with the Lord, it signaled me in that same direction from being 23 with one of my other girlfriends, you know, and it's like the resolve that you're in type of thing. And then when you come out to find out the truth that like you're this close to him, I'm like devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. It's devastational. It's like everything. Financial, your health, your ability to think. And that's like, I don't know, like I gotta pee, for an example, and my mind like circles around it. I'm like, things like that, like, normally you just have to pee and you go pee. But with these challenges that I face, being that where I feel like it's coming from is a poison of some sort, and it's like enabled it to where like my mind is not right and hasn't been right. And it's hard because, well, family and stuff like that, when you only see them once in a while, it's really hard to like put on that face. So I guess that's why I'm going into this scripture, is because these passages help in prayer and ministry and personal healing. So I'm trying to build protection from my enemies in my spiritual warfare campaign for my heart's work. So this is just me going into heart's work, and I'm just putting it out here because I do pray for my enemies. I pray that they turn from their evil ways. I pray that they stop doing these things to me. And I pray that the Lord makes it so that there's no other way. None. So with these things, I think it's important that people know that they do have that. They do have that power that was given over to us of authority. And when you break down the word to author, something is actually to be in creation of a thing. And so I think people have to really watch their tongues and watch what they're saying and doing, because these things aren't going to go well inside of the Lord's plans. And so these spiritual attacks, it's just to remind us that, like, even though we get these spiritual attacks, that God is still there and is a fortress protecting you from harm. Like, we all die. We all have a character to build, and we all want to be somehow invisible to these kinds of dangers. And we also want our partners and our people around us to not only make dangers that are, if there's dangers present, you don't want them to be invisible, but you just want to make sure that you both feel safe and that you're not in danger. And then once that sets in, and it's in your belly, it's not going to go nowhere with it being that of a detriment, of an abusive way. And so I'm just going to read Psalms 91, 1 through 4. It says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler." And I'm going to go on in scripture here. I got a few other ones from Psalms, but this one's from Ephesians 6:11 through 13. And this one is one that helps us remind you of the spiritual nature of your battles and the need for and to the relying on God's own armor and God through faith to be able to come into places of the unknown. Like, these things might kill somebody else, but because you believe in the Lord and you place your hand upon your chest or wherever you're feeling it, you wish it were somebody else, but you place your hand all over yourself and you pray over yourself. And that's okay. You just pray over yourself and you just pray that way until you can get rid of the attack or the attack is gone. And this can be for panic attacks and stuff like that. I get those too. Normal, panic attacks. I know the difference is, I guess, how I would say that, but anyway, it's Ephesians 6:11 through 13. "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all, to stand." And so, that one's kind of obvious why it helps, is because it just tells us that even though these things are happening, they're meant to call us back from our calling or to stop us in our calling. And sometimes, I don't want to take a step back from work, but at the same rate, I don't want to go out and be in a situation like that ever again. And I am actually really scared, so I know that the Lord has me, but it's still the fact that, well, with them serving up in this way, where they're ghosts that are possibly paid ghosts meant to annihilate me and take me out of the way, Like, my body and my refrain means more to me than anything I have. So I'm actually in a predicament and a bind, and I've been in a bind financially, and so I kind of hope that people can do some copy for me and try and create something for me in the way of, like, you know, even a crowdfunding or GoFundMe or anything like that, and like share the link onto my wall on Facebook and Instagram and other places, other platforms. You know what I mean? Because maybe I can reach somebody that can actually help me with these spiritual attacks. And I don't know any other way, because they're so thick and they're so strong, you guys, and they're like the strongest that they've ever been in my life because of where I've recently been able to discovery. And I know the way that these people have moved before in my life, if it's like that, you know, because they were trying to cause an accident everywhere I went. It was like, I mean, I had people like coming straight on, like in a single lane, straight on me, playing chicken with me, basically. All fuck barreling down the road. And it's like, if you don't move, you don't dodge it good enough, you're hit. And you know what the thing of it is, and the discovery of that kind of targeting is that the CIA works to do that. They work to dispel people and decimate people in that way, because you are of a bloodline or you are of a fear source for where their weapons are. And I can see exactly why, is because I am working in the way of that tongue and trying to teach people that tongue, that power is actually on their tongue. But to learn that and to utilize that, you have to set them decrees. You have to believe. Like faith 3,000, you know, I don't know, faith 1 billion, you know. You have to have that kind of faith in the Lord, because the Lord is mighty. You have a mightier God than you could ever imagine, I think. Right? And so, all I'm saying is in these coming days, form decrees. Form decrees against every single angle of every single attack, and then try to copy in 12 different directions and say it that way. I mean, we have to be saying things with our tongue to be thwarting an attack with our tongues in a proper way. That is to be in our calling, or be in our, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it, but it's like being in ourselves that we learn from within Jesus. I don't know how else to say that, but it's like if you ask for something to be set in you with the Lord, I think that the Lord is absolutely floored there, because, yeah, I mean, you ask the Lord to come into something like that, or in anything like that, and you're like inviting the Lord in, like, not in like a, oh, will you please come into this with me, not believing that God will come, but, you know, like believing that when you call upon the Lord, God's there, and God is there. God's armor, the truth, the righteous, all of everything that the God would want over you is there. And so I don't think that we always know these things, and we get called away from these by money, by the dangling fucking thing that's keeping us away from the tongue. You see what I mean? And so it's all about like influence in that way then, because if you can formulate an attack back against the weapons that are formed in this kind of way, then you can utilize your tongue. And so I think it's very important to like learn how to set decrees through faith that that nothing can happen, because what's happening in rebuttal as well is that they're doing the same thing in a satanic ritual abuse type of ways. And so if you aren't aware of those things that can actually come up in your life and actually pervert to utilize your own life against you, basically, your own data, your own information, everything that they can collect, everything that they can do. And this is why I disagree with like the whole prospect of like why they're snuffing out people like Julian Assange and like all these people that are truth tellers, is because these truth tellers are the people that are able to step up against the battle that the Lord is listening to within the minds and hearts of everyone out there. And so I think it's just an important thing to be taking that tongue to the Lord. But anyway, Isaiah 54:17 reads, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord." And so right there at the end, their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. So when you're calling up the Lord into something, it is the Lord's righteousness. And even if it's not allowed, that kind of attack on this planet, these people are lost without a life at all. They're wiped away clean, and that's how the world operates. Then we need to know how to stand up to that kind of Goliath in our lives, in a warrior's way, in a spiritual battle, in prayer, against these kinds of covert, narcissistic, psychopathic, malicious attacks. Paid, it's like Universal Studios being brought to the streets. You have no idea. You have no idea how coarse and how frequent that they can be, these attacks. And when they are coming from angles of what people I just saw, I never want to see those people again in my life. And I don't know. If someone can't step up into this with me and help me out, I guess I'll lose my stuff for the 4th time in my life due to the same kind of abuse. But this time it's like I know where it's coming from. I didn't know before. It's just my phone gets hacked and stuff happens, and then I'm even talking to my G about it. You know, like, fuck man, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, this happened, that happened. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like collection, and then you're bringing the collection to the collector. And so it's just, and every other relationship of mine, somehow, some way, I feel that when he has gotten involved, it's ruined everything of me, of what could have been of me in suit. Like, I mean that because in suit is like in Matthew Merdan is where Matthew Merdan would have wanted to take Matthew Merdan. See what I'm saying? And without all these covert attacks and all of these abusive ways, then he wouldn't have been ever in a homeless shelter. He wouldn't have ever been fighting for his life in that kind of way. He wouldn't have ever been set up in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying? He wouldn't have been having his data collected and being used against him in every single relationship in every single way. If you got the person's information on their phone, figure out the person, figure out how you know what I mean? Like, I never thought of these ways, but that's what it is. And so I legitimately am isolated. I have no one helping me, and no one at all. Like, I mean, I have people in my family, but I don't have anybody else. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I know people, but I really don't have anybody in my corner right now helping me fight this thing. And I don't want to fight it alone. I fought it alone before when I was homeless and I was a little bit stronger and shit, but I can't, you know what I mean? Like this set attack that I just had was, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it at all. Because, like, it's calling me to that place. It's calling me to that place of, like, revenge, and in the worst ways, and not in any kind of, like, cowardice way. It's fucking years and years of fucking drawn up abuse, and I'm sitting here, lopped off in duress, barricaded in my own house now. And it's like, I have been barricaded out of my ever-loving mind through a poison, and I think it was arsenic, which causes a person to have heart failure type stuff, or how do they say it? Cardiovascular effects. It has diabetes mentioned. It has like the leg problem that I had, like inability to stand up, like legit, and then on top of it, you can't even formulate sentences because your brain can't wrap around its own thoughts, and you're just sitting there like, fuck, can't even talk. Oh God. Oh Lord. I'm not okay. Sometimes I just have to take a break from thinking. So I'll just read on. Psalms 34:17 through 18. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth and delivereth them out of all their troubles. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Just telling us that God gives comfort to those with a broken heart, and He does. Offering those kind of promises that God is near and ready to deliver us from this kind of oppression and pain is true. It just sucks. It just sucks. It sucks so bad. So anyway, I'm gonna stop right here for this session. I really hope that there's something out there that you guys can help me with, because I mean, if you guys just got it like put together with like 50 people, all help me with like 25 or 50 bucks even, or something diligently like heartfelt for a guy, it'll go a long way in my life right now. And like, maybe you guys can save my life, you know? So I hope that you guys hear me and hear the devastation that I'm actually in, and not like, how would you say that? Like, I don't know, like I'm an actor. I'm a good actor then. But no, it's not that. And I really want people on my side. You know? Like, it doesn't take that long to set up a GoFundMe and stuff like that. I actually was about to do it, but, and like, it's just ChatGPT recommends that you get it done through a third party. It says you need a third party because you need more people in your corner. And if you're just a lone soldier, like, your chances are better of getting someone to help you when somebody else creates it for you than you just creating it for yourself. That's all I know. Anyway, that's my take on that. So anyway, peace out.